enjoyment of our wonderful journalism. It's very, very difficult to do manually, but again, these technologies, machine learning and so on, can help us to do that, to optimize our relationship with the audiences that we're trying to serve. So you can see, it all works at different levels or different parts, and therefore it is systemic, it is structural. And here's a kind of list of all the different specific ways that AI can impact on journalism. It's a pretty random list. I'm sure other people can think of other uses. But I think, I'm just trying to stress here the variety of applications. And this is why I think I'll be very surprised if there's anybody in this room who can't think of some way that these technologies might have some sort of beneficial impact on their work. And some of it, as I say, is very boring, frankly. It's stuff you don't necessarily want to do. And some of it is right at the cutting edge. Listening to fantastic fact-checking talk yesterday, how on earth can you cope with the volume and speed of disinformation and bots online unless you have some sort of technological help? And investigations, well, this is just stolen from the website for this conference. I just randomly looked at some of the things that people are going to be talking about, and I can see a role for artificial intelligence technologies in all of these things. They're all really exciting and important editorial projects, missions, and I can see a role in all of them. And obviously the metaverse of journalism. Does the metaverse even exist? I don't know. But artificial intelligence certainly does, and can help us to do that journalism. So now I'm going to do if you like, the bit that's about my work, which is this Journalism AI project, which has been working since 2018. And I'm going to talk you through that. And it's not just because I would love you to join it and benefit from it, but also it's my way of trying to talk about how AI works for journalists. And everything I'm going to be talking about will be based on what journalists have said to us and done with us during this period. I should say that I work for the London School of Economics. The project is hosted in my think tank Polis, and it's funded by those lovely, lovely people at the Google News Initiative. We started off in 2018 doing this research report called New Powers and New Responsibilities, which was a survey of how AI is being used in newsrooms around the world. We talked to people in about 70, I think, different countries around the world, and we asked them, what are you doing? But we also asked them, why aren't you doing it? What's stopping you doing it? And what are the problems that you face when you do it? The problems are, practical problems, but they're also ethical problems, for example. We're very conscious, aren't we, of the problem around bias in many of these technologies that we have to be aware of. And we use that report to work out, well, okay, what would be helpful to journalists around the world when they're trying to understand it. The big one at the beginning was a kind of knowledge and skills gap. So a gap in the sense of you didn't have enough people, demographics in newsrooms who understand the tech, data scientists, for example, computer scientists, those kind of people, or those kind of skills, but also more generally, that if this thing is going to impact on everyone's work at some point, then we all need to know a little bit about it so that we can do our journalism as well as we can in the context of having AI in our newsrooms. So we try to create training programs, very short, and by the way, everything I've got this is free and accessible online. So we try to create some training programs that were designed by journalists for journalists, people working in newsrooms, to do things like introduce them to the idea of what is machine learning. And these have been incredibly popular. I think machine learning courses had like 50,000 people that have taken it. It's just short. I think it takes a couple of hours to complete. So we tried to bridge that gap. Key to it as well was the idea that we're trying to create a network of people who can help each other and learn from each other. So one of the big things we did was this rather groovy resource which listed all the sort of articles but also case studies about journalism and AI. So you can go on to the website, and if you're interested in a particular thing, I don't know, investigative journalism or transcription or something, you can find the resources in terms of articles, case studies of other people who've already started on that journey. And of course, that will save you time and might inspire you as well. And that idea of learning from each other was important to another strand of our project, which was this collaborative exploration of new uses of AI. So what we did was basically every year we have little teams of people who come to us. They say, hey, I'm interested in something to do with AI, and we team them up with people from other newsrooms, and sometimes from other countries, as you'll see. And they work, a few hours a week, they work online, remotely, in little teams with our support. We provide them mentorship, we provide them a bit of tech help or a bit of money, and they will investigate. They'll look at a particular use, and some of them have been very technical, like, this one. How can you use AI to build audience engagement and loyalty? Quite a kind of granular, gritty, important thing. Other people have looked at more, more sort of bigger ideas. So one team looked at the idea of how can you use AI to counter bias, gender bias in your own journalism. So a more kind of ethical project as well. And again, all this stuff, all their work has been published online in reports so that people who are interested in that can learn from what other people have done before them. As I mentioned, there's this huge problem around inequalities around AI. So again, the project is very much